Hey, grade 9. So there was a question for number 4E and number 6 from 19F.1. So again, absolute value. What I want you to remember first is the graph. So I'll tell you why. We know that the graph of the absolute value of x, it looks like a V like this, right? A V shape like this. Symmetrical and straight. And there's this pointy vertex there. So keep that in mind. And for number 4E, it says solve for x. And we know that absolute value of x, it contains two parts, right? Because we have our negative axis and our positive axis. So we have two parts of the graph. So you could rewrite absolute value of x as x is greater than or equal to 0 or positive, then it will stay as x. But if x is less than 0 or a negative, we multiply by -1. Okay, keep that in mind. So this is x is less than 0, it's greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so for E here, they're asking solve for x. So immediately, I know that you guys know this. Solving for x is easy. And then you get x equals to 2, right? 2 plus 1 is 3. So you can even check it, like the absolute value of 3 is still 3, right? So that's good. But there's another value. Since again, to an absolute value function, there are two sides, right? We have the left one and the right one here. So left and the right, right? So that means there's a negative value of this. So we're going to take the negative of x plus 1 and then set it equal to 3. Okay, negative x plus 1. I'm just going to rewrite this as -1. That is 4. And then x equals -4. So you can again check it. -4 plus 1 is equal to the absolute value of -3. The absolute value of -4 plus 1 is the absolute value of -3, which is 3. So there are two values of x here. So again, it all comes back to the graph and the definition of an absolute value function. Okay. Number 6 talks about the same thing. So it says by replacing absolute value of x with x for x is greater than 0 and then -x for x is less than 0. Write the following functions without the modulus sign and hence graph each function. So I'll do A here. Okay, so they want you to rewrite this without the modulus function, the modulus sign, without this here. Okay, so just let y equals 2. Again, we have two parts of this. Remember, for y equals the absolute value of x, we could rewrite it as this. Y equals to x if x is greater than or equal to 0, and then -x if x is less than 0. So again, for this one, it's different because there's a negative sign outside. So it'll be the opposite. So now this stays the same. If x is positive, and then if x is less than 0. Because of this negative sign in the front, we're going to multiply this x by negative, so that it becomes -x. And then we're going to multiply this -x with that negative sign again, so that becomes positive. So this is how you would rewrite the function without the modulus sign. So how to check it again is to use the graph, right? So yx, the first part here, it says if x is 0 or a positive number, the line would look like negative x there, so it would look like this. So this part here is this. So this part is that. Okay, and then it says if x is less than 0, then it would stay the same. Again, this one here is this part here. Okay, so you can even check. So let's just select an x here. Maybe this is 3. If this is 3, then if you plug it into this function there, the y would be -3, which is correct, right? It's on the 4th quadrant. Alright, how about -3 here? It will be on -3 as well. Do you see how the x stays the same? So the x is the same, right? X is this. So the y will be -3 as well. So there you go. Let me know if you guys have questions.